So I'm just going to come right out and say it. If I told you, you wouldn't believe what I just did. If you know me, you know better. I just did it. So I wound up buying another truck, and this isn't one that I would typically buy. Actually, that's the wrong way to say it. I bought many like this and have done what I needed to do. However, being the situation with a friend in his living situation and that sort of thing, I wound up picking a truck off of him that he had sitting in his pasture that he used for parts, and the guy that he got it from used it for parts. So I've got me a big old turd of a unit sitting here, and I'm really kind of glad to have it. So I'm going to walk you through briefly what our plans are, and then we'll take a look at this thing. So on this build, what we're going to do is we're going to start with an older unit. We want to start with a unit that anybody can pick up for $300, $400, $500, such as I did. It's missing a fender, it's missing an engine, the transmission leaks, it has good brakes on it, and there's no rust. So that's a good place to start, and it's titled. So win, 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 loss, 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 loss. So we're just going to have to weigh our options here, and that's how we're going to roll with it on this one. The good news about it is there's no rust. Very, very little. And what I can find is surface rust. The bad news is it has electric windows, and the inside smells like cat piss. So I'm going to leave the back door on the shop open at night and open up the doors and try to get that thing to air out. It's pungent. It's in your teeth when you open that door. There's no way about it. So anyhow, it's 1987 GMC Sierra. So long bed unit, which I really wasn't excited about, but if we're going to start a series and we're going to build a truck, then we'll show you how to cut the bed off and shorten the frame and shorten the bed, and that's going to be tutorial number 1. So on this, what my plans are is to make a really cool street cruiser, but I want it on airbags. I don't want to lower it like I've done other trucks. I've never airbagged one. As a matter of fact, I've never C-channeled one and put a Watts link in one, or a 4-link, or a 4-link in a lowrider like this. 4-wheel drives are a different story. So that's where we're starting. That's what's going to be on the agenda with this truck. I don't have a name for it. I know it's going to be low buck. It's going to be low budget. I don't plan on spending a bunch of money where it's unnecessary. I'm going to spend the money on the parts that are absolutely relevant. I have access to other doors, panels, engines, transmissions, that sort of thing. So I'm going to be just kind of picking and choosing. I don't have anything indefinite right now. There will be bodywork included in this. There's going to be a bunch of frame modifications. Front end modifications, we got to put, what do they call, buckets, airbag buckets in the front. We're going to use all this stock suspension that we can up until we get enough money saved up to do this. So let's walk through what my plans are. So first we got to get the bed off. We got to cut down the frame 14 in the front, 6 in the rear. Go ahead and shorten that up to a short bed wheelbase measurement. We'll get that done, and then we'll work on the bed to the side. The bed is going to be something that's on the back burner. But whenever we get around to that, I'll show you how to do that. We'll get that done. On the front, we're just going to cut the springs. Well, let's move back to the back. On the rear, we're going to do an axle flip and a shackle, a longer shackle, so that it puts the mounting tab on the spring way up in the fender. That's going to get us, we want to get about 4 inches low in the front to begin with. And on the front, I'm going to put like a 3-inch lowering spindle on it, and then I'm going to cut the springs. I'm going to cut like 4 springs off so we can get about, I'm thinking about 3 inches out of that, just so it'll set down. This is going to be without the weight of the engine. There's no interior in this thing. There's just bucket seats. They're just sitting there. They're not bolted down. And half the interior is gone. So it'll kind of give me an idea of where we need to be, where I need to start ordering parts. Ordering parts being, I'm going to order the 4-link kit. I'm going to order the Watts link kit. I'm going to order a C-notch kit. I'm going to order all that stuff for one of 2 reasons. One, I can sit out here for 2 weekends and fab up some stuff, and sure, I've done it, and I've done it before. Or I can spend the money on somebody who's done all the R&D on it and can ship me out a kit for a couple $100. Stuff for square bodies is way cheap, way different game than Dodges and Fords and other pickups. I mean, there's a dime a dozen, there's 200 companies. There's stuff out there available everywhere, which I was very happy with. And I've already talked to one company about just doing everything and freight shipping it to my local parts house and just pay freight on one box and just get all of it. So that's the plan in the front. We're just cut the springs, put lowering spindles on it. In the back, we're going to do an axle flip and perch spring perch deals, and see where we're at from that point on. We'll take all the stock suspension off and just work with what we have. Then we can set up all the 4-link, get all that done, and I'll find an engine to put in there. All the wiring is in pretty good shape, that sort of thing, and start sourcing out air conditioner parts, and this and that. But just a brief rundown of what we got. Give me just a second. I'm going to flip you around, and we're going to look at this unit together.
Hey, good morning. I figured I'd do a quick update on the truck dubbed Whiskey Dent. So we've got a little bit done. I got a fender put on the front and a few other things. It's just all mocked up. Here's what's on today's agenda. Let me flip you around. So we've got to get these gas tanks out. We do have a small electrical problem. Haven't figured that out. None of the dash lights work. When the blinker's on, the dash lights blink, that sort of thing. I'm going to jump to the back, and I think maybe it's ground, but I'll show you that. So today's agenda: drop the tanks, figure out that grounding issue, and we got to pull this transmission out. I believe it's a 400, judging by the pan, so I'm going to get that out of there today. I'm just going to clean all this up, figure out what's what and where is where. The short bed kit should be here in the next day or two. I've already got a bed picked out. I just got to go pick it up. I got some wheels I've got to go pick up, and a few other things. So we're going to run 24s on this. Let's talk about what needs to happen though. Let's get the tanks out today, get the bump stops cut out, get the cross brace cut out. There's a few things like that need to be done. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump on it. I'm not going to be doing a lot of recording today. I'll just kind of update as it goes. But today's Saturday. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I plan on making some progress. So let's do this. All right, so brief update. Tanks are dropped. We'll walk through that. Transmission is pulled. Walk through that. The fill tube came out, and of course there's transmission fluid all over my drive here, and it looks horrible. The girls are picking up a couple bags of cat litter. Let's walk through this. I'm about to cut rivets, and we'll show you where we're at. So let's go out here right quick. Of course, it looks like a wreck. Transmission's out. I've already power washed it. Good news is it's a 700 R4, so it's an overdrive transmission, which I'm pretty stoked about. Both fuel tanks come out. Each one has, I don't know, 3 or 4 gallons of gas in it, so that was nice. Exhaust is cut out, so that's there. This is the bed that we were going to use. I'm going to buy a late model step side bed and put on there, just because the other side of this is beat plumb up. I think we've seen that in the previous video. Okay, did get the lights figured out. They had a blue wire that was jumped over touching this bulb, or wired into the bulb on that connection. And what that was doing was sending voltage back. If you don't have your foot on the brake, then it's creating a circuit. But here's where the problem lies, or lied, or was lying, was this was all mangled up. This light brown, or excuse me, light green wire wasn't even hooked up. So I guess they didn't see that. It was in the bed. It was tucked under there. It had a bunch of grease and stuff right there. Of course, if the tank's right here, you're not really looking at that, under that. And I don't know that they had a lot of access to it. But as soon as I wired that up, we've got everything working correctly. Now, I do need a blinker switch. I still don't have interior dome lights, and half of my panel lights are out. More than likely, that's lamps. But the heater control lights come on, headlights come on, running lights come on. I'm going to have to figure out this pin switch. They pulled the pin switch and just pried that out to get the pin switch out, which I wish they'd have just took the AC duct off, or the heat duct, and went ahead and back behind there and get it. But they probably didn't know. Not a big deal. So we still don't have interior lights, which we got to have those because I'm a nerd like that. I've got everything all lubed down. I'm getting ready for that. So next thing is we're cutting rivets. So I'm trying a couple of different ways. I've already cut underneath this one. So I've got a slice in that one. I've crossed on those. I'm going to see how easy they are. Those up under there aren't going to be as easy. I'm going to have to lay on my back and get it from the bottom. But this brace has to come out. This brace can stay. This brace is going to hide all the wiring. for the air ride stuff. Got to get the shocks off, got to get bump stops off. The bump stop brackets will come off whenever I do the C-notch, so that's got to come out, or they don't have to come out. Shocks have to come off. I'm going to go ahead and clean all these rivets up and just leave 1 or 2 in each one. That way when we get to it, it's easy. Those are the ground straps for the gas tank, the blue wires. But I went ahead and power washed all that and got that. So on the front, I did go ahead and put a battery in here with some good battery cables, just so I'm not using my jump box. I just have some connections down there that's giving me power to the dash and all that. I did get the transmission wires figured out, the kick down cable, that's all right there. There's still 2 wires I need to figure out what is. I thought that was going to the alternator that goes to the throttle body. So most of that stuff is sitting on top of the engine. I need to figure out what this needs to do. I'm still not certain that I'm getting all the power to the cab that I need. I'm not getting any power on my fuse lights or on my fuse for the interior lights, which is weird. That wire was completely broken in half, so I found it, chased it down, and found where it was broke, put it in. So my heater's control may work now if I have everything hooked up. Everything up here is power washed, ready to be cleaned up real good with wire brushes and all, and a coat of paint. So we're making headway, just slowly getting it done. But anyhow, I just wanted to touch base on that. The wiring was just a wire that they had jumped over because they didn't see the break in that. And it's fixing to be rivet time, so yippee. And it's like 101 outside right now, and it's so muggy. Like, goodness, the guys are out staining. But anyhow, back to the grind. Okay, so let's talk about something. Remember when I previously said that I could get some blue doors? I got them. Remember when I said I could get some skins? I got them too. The skins didn't match up. The door lock was in a different spot. So, next best thing is swap out the doors. Now, I'll put in this that it took me about 5 hours to do. Well, I had other things I did in between there. If I put the time together, probably 3.5, 4 hours. To do electric doors and get everything working properly and back as it was, adjusted, set up, and fenders matched, that sort of thing. So, let's take a look. Bam! Not too shabby. So, they fit well. They look well. I got the gaps about right. It could use a scotch more forward or bring this fender back a little bit. But all in all, I was pretty happy with it. The door poppers still aren't working, and of course I'm going to have to sand all this. I'm going to wind up just doing a Fotino on this by the time it's all said and done. So where did we leave off? Oh yeah, let's walk out here. The transmission came out. It is indeed a 700 R4. It wasn't a 350 or 400. I thought it was a 400 when I looked at the pan, and it's not. 700 R4, which I'm stoked about. I went ahead and got it all cleaned up and painted. He said it was a running driving truck when he got it. They pulled the motor out and put, I guess, in his daughter's or something. I don't quite remember, but anyway, it's supposed to be a good transmission, so we're going to roll with that. Keep in mind, we're working on a budget. I got something out in the garage that I'll show later. I did go ahead and pick up those wheels and tires. They're 24s, so that's going to be a pretty cool deal. The bed kit is going to be here, I think, Tuesday. So I'm going to go ahead and get a bunch of that done. Let's touch base on the rivets. I said that I was going to try a couple of different ways. I cut some crosses in there, cut one off. I think the easiest way to do it is just buzz them off with the chop saw if you can, and then use a flap wheel and knock them down and just knock them out with a punch. Easier said than done. Just getting that brace out was like an hour, and getting the rivets out was a whole nother getting them out of the brace piece. So that's just sitting back in there. I think I did touch base on the lights. We got the ground fixed. We got that blue wire that was on there switched over due to the connection that was up there. So tomorrow's agenda, tomorrow's going to be raining, so we're not going to be working. Tomorrow's agenda is to get the old brake line off and to get the e-brake cable off and clean up the frame a little bit, and that's going to put us in a good position for Tuesday. I'll go ahead and put the wheels on here tomorrow. Now keep in mind, this is budget. I got them for $400. They need to be sanded down and painted. However, they're what I was looking for. They're 24-inch. The tires on them are trash, but it'll be good enough for mock-up. What that's going to do is it's going to get us in a point to where I can see what slosh tubs I need to start making, and if I need to cut out any of the inner fender firewall part. That's a pretty common deal. So I did get the drop spindles, so I may work on those. It said I need big brakes. I don't know what they consider big brakes. I got 11 1/4 by 1 inch. I think they're wanting 12-inch by 1 1/4. So I'll have to see on that. As at this point, if it's not right, I can put the old ones back on. So there's a lot to do there. But this is the blue door. The other one I did try. I gave it a valiant effort. I wanted to just patina it up. And even with my stun gun, I got the dents flatter, but there's still a big crease at the bottom. I don't know if it's visible. But by the time it was said and done, the door needed aligned. It was going to be a pretty rough deal. And I would still, if you're looking down this, it still needed a lot of work. And it was one of those deals. This other one has a few dings in it, but that's it. Same door, just, different color. So Fotina it is. The hood is in great shape to begin with. So, would have to do something to that anyway. So it looks like I'm going to be putting primer on this. I'll probably put red oxide on it, on this fender and on this door, red oxide primer. Then I'll do everything with a flat black, and then put some sort of flashy cherry red on top, and then patina that off to where you just got big panels that are the cherry red, or whatever this red is in here. Fire engine red, American red, victory red. There's a bunch of different. That's probably like Grandpa's tomato red. But anyway, just wanted to update on that. The key doesn't come out of the steering column. I do got the interior lights on half of it working. Still haven't figured out the pin switch for the dome lights and the kicker lights. Got to have that before I even start putting stuff back together. The rain cat smell is no longer present, so that's good. Anyway, just a brief update, and waiting on some more equipment. So that's about it until tomorrow, and we'll go from there. So being anxious got the best of me. I'm in the garage. I just left the shop on that last video. Let me flip around and show you these. So this isn't anything awesome. So they're 24-inch wheels, horrible tires, a one tire fire burnout type of deal. Come off of a Chevrolet truck, so they damn sure should fit. Here's what I'm looking at, and here's what I was going for. I'm going to say this over and over again, and I'm going to say it one more time. This is budget. So what we're looking at is a cheap set of wheels. Now, these are true. They're not bent. That was one thing, and all the tires hold air. That was another thing. So therefore, I'm halfway there. All in all, I think a very cool looking wheel, and will look absolutely awesome on that Chevrolet truck. It's not even a Chevrolet, GMC, on that square body. I like having the ring around the outside, so an accent color, whatever we decide to do with that, whatever color the brakes are, something like that. And this little strap is pretty cool. I prefer that to be black, but I can paint that. But just wanted a brief update on that. We'll have them out in the shop tomorrow. We'll kind of size them up and check it out. But I'm just too dang excited. So anyway, till next time. Well, today's a new day, and it is nice and cool outside, so we're going to take that. We're going to walk through a couple of things right quick, and let me show you what I got. And I realized I lost a video, don't have a video of just a complete truck as a walk around. So we'll briefly do that right quick. So let me show you the wheels that we picked up, and walk through everything from this point on. So when I said that I got some, and this is on a budget, this is what I got. Most of that's dirt. He said it cleans off. However, they're going to get repainted anyway, so I'll have to surface them. These are 24-inch wheels. Of course, the tires are horrible. They hold air. That was my main concern at this point. And I love the style of it. I think that's going to be super cool on here. So we've got that. Here are the drop spindles. And the shackles are 4-inch, I believe. So that's going to give us a huge difference. But I realized last night I was trying to get my videos together. I think I lost the video somewhere of just the truck when we first brought it in and set it here as it's set with the smell of cat pee. If you don't know, or if I can't find it, I'll do a brief walkthrough right quick. And I've already started on this, so I mean, it's really kind of up in the air, but didn't have this front fender on it. That's a replacement fender. Had the red door on there. The red door is sitting over there. And I worked out some of the big creases and dents, but that's it. I went ahead and got replacement doors and skins. The skins don't fit. The lock hole is in a different position. It needs to be like 4 inches if you're looking at this, or no, 2 inches if you're looking at this to the right, similar to this door. Just a difference there. So that door is going to go on this side, and this thing was beat up. So that was our big concern. I'm going to get another replacement fender on the way and get this out of there. So that's going to be on today's agenda. Get this front fender off. I'm going to get the wheels on here and get the splash tubs out of here so that I can lower it down on a jack and find out just how low it's going to set. Let's walk through the bed right quick, because we're not going to even be cutting this bed down. That was the original intention. And this side looks pretty decent. The other side is rough. By the time it's said and done, I've sourced a late model step side bed that I think would look pretty snazzy on here. But if you can see this, it's got, and it wouldn't be bad if the dents weren't down the crease line. And they're pretty bad. So by the time I get that all beat out, I could easily have 16 hours in this by the time I cut it down and everything. So we're weighing the options. I'm talking to the dude that has the step side bed, and I think I can get it for a couple $100. The truck didn't have seats in it. It had these, which are pretty decent seats. They still smell like pee. Decent set of bucket seats, though. The engine was sitting in the back of the truck. All those accessories were in the back. That's the old Vortec that come out of here, the TBI setup. And all that came off on day one. Got the exhaust out, a 700 R4 transmission, which I was super stoked about. So now we have overdrive. And, of course, all the Beltec stuff for the front. So, today's agenda, I'm going to get the wheels on here. I don't think I'm going to go ahead and try to do the axle swap on here, just because this is all going to be coming off in a couple of weeks anyway. I may just put the lowering shackles on here just so that we can do it that way. However, these sit up, the shackles sit up, so really the 4 inches that's that down, or the 3 inches that's down, and plus the extra couple inches on the shackle would bring this way up, which I need to do anyway to check my pinion angle, because all that's going to change. So that's about the gist of it for right now. I'm going to get these wheels on, and I'll bring you back and we'll take a look at it. Alright, so I'm back at it, and I love the Nook. Not so much the brake hubs, but it is what it is. I may see if I can get late model Chevrolet axles, and, well, no, because it'd be 60. Never mind. I think it looks nice. There's a lot more room in there than I thought there was. Now, turning radius and stuff, I hadn't quite figured that out, but it looks like it's centered well. It will definitely hit. That splash guard has to come out. But I'm digging it. I'm digging the way it looks. I think this is going to be a good start. So just wanted to update on that. Jump on this side and see if we can. Yeah, see why I got to replace that door and that fender? Jesus Christ, that's beat up. Anyway, I'm digging it. So on to the next step. Shoo, that's a day. So let's do a brief update. Not a lot's happened. We got all the doors are on. Toby come by and help. Got another fender off. Wheels are on. Got everything lined out for tomorrow. I've got about half a day of work, and then I'll be back here another half a day or so. I see a little dent in this. But anyhow, let me spin you around. That's how I spin around. So we're loving the wheels. We don't think it's going to have any trouble tucking. Now this thing just looks so much better once all those doors and everything were switched up off there. And of course, when you put wheels on something, it just makes it look better. That's the transmission leak that I said that I found out that it didn't have a tube once I started pulling it, and it leaked everywhere. So that's a stock suspension sitting on 24s. Doors are in, windows work, door locks still don't work. I think it's more to do with the switch, because I can hit them off a battery pack and it jumps up. We pulled that fender off just because that's where that door and that fender were collided. When I put the new door on there, it wouldn't open or shut. Gaps are somewhat set. I'm going to pull the inner fenders out tomorrow. The gentleman I'm getting the bed from says that he can sell those, so I may just take them to him. I don't think I'll be using them. I may hold off on it. We'll see. Still didn't get the brake lines off. Still got to get that done. The kid will be here tomorrow. I'm probably not going to start on it maybe tomorrow night. Later in the week, we got to get to work and get some stuff done. Toby is going to be on vacation for a few days at the end of this week, so I'm going to get out and clean and take care of service calls and get all that done. But looks so much better just sitting on different wheels. Oh, and I got the new shop lights. Let me show you guys these. These are awesome. So these are what I don't know, it's a Chinese brand, of course. Highlights, highlights, LED lights, high bay lights. Dude, they're awesome. So you get 6 of them for a little under $300. Man, where was the name of that at? Anyway, they advertise all the time on Facebook. Big difference. I put this one on a cord so that we can lower it and move it around. The others are stationary. I got that one set up where I can move it around if need be, but such a big difference. And of course, the shop's a wreck. But that's about it. Just a quick update. Still don't have an engine or any hopefuls. There's still those 2 that I was talking to those fellas about. There's just no front accessories, no brackets, no nothing, just blocks that have been sitting there for a couple of years. And I'd rather not do it that way if I don't have to. I'd rather have all the accessories where I can spin it over, get there, pull the valve cover, and check everything out. I need to adjust the bottom of that door. Top needs to come out a bit. But that's it, man. Got the wheels on today. Seems like a productive day, but it was all the small stuff. All the door guts are in, all the windows are in, so that's good. But just a brief update. Until next time. Well, today's going to be a pretty good day. So the short bed kit come in. So I've got that. I'm going to go ahead and pull the brake lines, get the taillight harness out of the way, and start cleaning rivets off today. I'm going to get that done. Today's going to be the day that I ordered the air management system for it. So that's good news. Let me flip you around. The Brothers kit that you get comes with the new brake line and the e-brake cable. So all that's done. Some of this I've already cleaned up and showed you. But got to get that tangled up mess out of the way because I'm going to be working and welding right there. So today's pretty much strip all this down, go ahead and get everything bolted up, the holes drilled, riveted out, or all the rivets out. Pretty big day as far as this goes. So I'm going to get that done tomorrow. I've got some service calls, but the weather's not going to cooperate, so I'll probably be here for a good part of the day tomorrow. I think you guys already know all the doors are on, windows roll up and down, so that's just a brief update. I'm going to go ahead and get busy. I've got new audio video equipment coming, so that'll be here in the next day or 3. So it's about to get official. These are just quick little intros until I get everything set up, and then we'll sit down, get everything going, and rock and roll with this project. And that's about it. So let's start on this, and we'll catch up with you guys in a bit. All right, let's talk about this Brothers kit right quick. I've already done this once, but I had music going. Didn't think about it. I had to turn it off. Read it. So this kit that I have here is from brotherstrucks.com. It's a long bed to short bed conversion kit you can get on YouTube, and you can find videos for it. It's a really neat kit and makes it super simple. And one of my buddies come by and put cheater on there, but to each their own. I like this, doing it this way. So anyhow, these bolts are numbered. Bolt 1, bolt 1, bolt 1. I didn't put the one in the center because this is pretty sturdy. So you drill out bolt 1, it holds the template in place, and you drill out the bolt holes number 2, and you drill those out to 1/2 inch, okay? I still got that top one to do. My drill is hot. So you get those, you put the templates in place, you cut this, cut that, and that. This piece slides to this piece, and you weld it on. This 14-inch piece right in the center, it drops out, and then you flip around your bumper piece. I'll show you on this other side, it's the same thing. And then I'll show you the little plates that you put inside. You put them inside, and it's got like 8 bolts that hold it. I'm going to put the bolts in, then I'm going to weld the seam on the outside right here, just burn the snot out of it. So anyhow, this is the plate that goes in there. A little notch goes to the front, so that's that. So bolt hole number 1, bolt hole number 1 holds the template in place. Drill out all your number 2s. This thing was smoking a second ago, so it's taking a rest. But drill out bolt hole number 2, bolt holes number 2, cut that, slide it together. That's this rear part right here. That there is this piece here. So this big old channel just fits right inside, such as so. Bolts it together. And then I'm going to burn the center. Well, this actually be right here. I'm going to go ahead and burn all that in. As soon as I got it where I know it's bolted up, it's plumb, it's square. They put 1/2 inch bolts with 7/16 or 1/2 inch holes, 7/16 bolts. So there's a little bit of wiggle room, not much, but enough to where you can do what you need to do. And I'm a cheater for using this. So anyhow, that's the kit. It's brotherstrucks.com. They have a big YouTube tutorial on it, and I've watched it 4 or 5 times, so I'm out here getting that done. Just thought I'd share that because the new equipment hasn't came in yet. This did. I talked to my boy Alex in California. He's going to be making my stuff next week and shipping it out at the end of next week. I got the all the air management ordered today. Slamit.com. I got a hold of them. They called back. We worked out a deal on it, and I got $500 off of it. I'm going to tell you how to do this, guys. So anytime, let me flip this around. Anytime that you're ordering something off eBay, you can always go in there, and when you like it, the little heart button, like that. And what that does is it lets them know you're interested. They'll always send you like a 4%, 5%, 10% discount on it. And at that point, you can go ahead and buy it. What we do, and Alex, my boy from California, is the one that told me this. So when you do that, what you're doing is letting them know you're interested. Send them an email. So send them an email and say, hey, I'm interested in this. I don't know if I want to go through eBay. Can I talk to somebody personally? Because this kit isn't exactly what I'm looking for. And give them your phone number. Give them a little bit of information. They'll contact you. This has worked twice. Sorry, there's hair on my lens. And me and Tiff added it up. So I've saved over $800 on 2 purchases. So when they call you, say, hey, so I like this kit. Have the kit number. Make it easy for them. And they're going to go, okay, yeah, we see what that is. And say, well, I don't need all the metal, this, or this, if you don't need it or if you do need it. But anyway, what you're going to do is tell them, hey, look, if I bought this through you without eBay, can you discount it any? And they're always going to say, well, they're not always going to say. Most instances, if they want to sell it, they're going to say yes, because they have to pay eBay 13% of the total sale with tax. So if you go through them, they take that eBay fee right off, or a lot of them do. Well, I say a lot of them. Both times I've tried it, it's worked flawlessly. And then on top of that, if you're buying it directly from them without having their website, ask them to build you a custom kit. They'll send it to you, the link, and they'll give you a couple of days. If you get that kit within that couple of days, you're not paying sales tax on it because it's not physically going through the website. You're going to have to do like, we have a QuickBooks account that we can purchase stuff through that way. And most of these places have QuickBooks. So it goes straight into their books. There's no sales tax on it. save a ton of money. And then without eBay fees, you're saving even more money. Like I said, we saved $800 off of all of the Watts link, the airbag setup, the cantilever setup for the airbag, the Watts link, the C notches, all the cross bracing, everything. I ordered the whole back end kit from Alex. What is it? Alex Metalworks, Alex S Metalworks. I'll post that later. But anyway, get a hold of these people. Air Slam it. I just saved $500 today. So anyway, that's what's up. I just wanted to show you this before I get too far into it. The next video you see, I'm going to be dancing around like a pigeon with a French fry. I'm going to be happy because this is going to be officially a short bed. So, ciao, till next time. Well, it's together. It's not tight. It's not welded, but it is together. And that's the good news. The bottom's sitting a little low. I got some counterweight on the back. I'm going to have to get a jack. My batteries are dead. It's late. I'm hot. But essentially, that's what's up. I now have a short bed. Oh, man, it wasn't bad at all either. So the holes lined up nearly all perfect. There's a few that are a little off. I think that's supposed to be centered in that one. That one's supposed to be a little centered in that one. But if that's it, then that's fine. Everything is loose right now. None of this is tight. So I'll be able to wiggle it around and maneuver it a little bit and get it adjusted. I'm probably going to take a measurement like off that bolt hole to one of the bolt holes up there, that one right there to up there, to make sure that we're triangulated and square. Before I cinch anything down, I'll need another hand for that though. But it's done. Well, no, it's not. It's just begun, but that part's done. Still got to do the back. It's just late. My batteries are dead. So that's it for today. Well, goodness gracious. So none of my new camera equipment and all that will be in until Saturday. It's currently Thursday, so we're going to have to do this the old school way, and the first part of these videos are going to be trash. So it is what it is. Let's walk through where I left off last night. I've got a few hours to work on this today, but I got to clean up the mess before I get started. So I'm going to flip you around, and let's look at this now that we got more light. So I did get everything in last night. My drill was dead, so I still got to put 2 bolts in right there, but everything, well, 3 bolts. There's one right there too. Everything is in. It's touching on the top. It's not on the bottom, so I'm going to put a board in here and use my high lift jack and jack that up just so that we can make sure that both of those are touching. And then I'm going to run a diagonal line across it just to measure, like from this corner to the back corner, this corner to the front corner, just to make sure that we're square. And then I've got a welding cart that I'm building. Well, I just got to pull all my welding stuff off of this big welding table and get all that set up where I've got a small portable deal instead of pushing that big old conglomeration around. Anyhow, that's that. I got the air ride ordered yesterday. That fender's supposed to be in tomorrow, so the splash tubs can come out, all of that stuff. Oh, I got an engine showing up tomorrow. Engine, transmission, radiator, carburetor, the whole kit and caboodle. It's going to be a carbureted deal for now. I'll wind up putting fuel injection on it later, but I'll just do like a Haltech or what do they call those? The ones that look like a carburetor, but it's EFI setup. So all of these canisters and all of this, I now know that I can clean up. So I'm not going to cut these wires. You see where this big bundle's coming through the dash? That goes to this engine, or to a Vortex, or no, excuse me, to a TBI. So I'm going to, while everything's out of the dash, I'm going to get under there, pull all that through, loop it around, and be done with that. So I'm going to try to get all this cleaned up. So there's quite a bit going on until the rest of the stuff gets here. Talked to Alex yesterday. He's going to be working on my kit next week and hopefully get it out at the end of next week. So I'm going to finish this, clean up this mess, go ahead and get the front cleaned up, move the welding cart around, get all this kind of organized and put back. I've got tools scattered everywhere. So I'm going to be spending a few hours today just getting everything buttoned up and cleaned up and ready for the engine to get delivered tomorrow, because I'm just going to push it out, put it in the truck, push it right back in. So should be an easy deal. That's about it on my end. I'm going to go ahead and get busy. So sorry about this. I'm waiting on that equipment. Amazon's usually here in 3 or 4 days, and it kept getting pushed back. It hasn't even showed that it got shipped yet, but it updated today and said that it'll be here Saturday. So I guess we'll see. But anyhow, no need in complaining about it. We just got to deal with what I have for now instead of actually shooting videos, just a bunch of updates. So it's it, and that's that. Here's to the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. So Friday. So 2 days after I started this, I've got a really good day ahead of me today. Everybody's on vacation work-wise with my guys. Let me rephrase that. Toby's on vacation, and I've got everything done yesterday that I needed to get done to prepare for this. So we're going to go ahead and finish this out today. Got 2 holes to do here, 3 holes. Let me move a little closer. We'll point this out. We're going to get going. Got to drill out this hole, and this hole. Get those bolted up. I got all this flat yesterday, so we're good to go there. We're going to burn that in. We're going to burn along this top edge, burn on the inside, just like over there. That's going to be done. Then I'm going to go ahead and bob off the bumper bit. The bed's going to be here tomorrow. The engine and transmission is going to be here today. I did find a complete one. The dude's making me a deal. He's driving in from Borger. Going to drop it off tonight about 6 o'clock. So I got to get this done. I want to get it done, get this inside frame all cleaned up, and get ready for that. He's bringing the engine today, so, the other fenders are going to be here today. I went ahead and ordered another new one. So I'm going to get out these splash tubs. That's going to be today. I'm going to get rid of the vacuum canister, I'm going to pull out as much of this wiring harness as I can. I don't need it. I'm going with the carburetor, and I didn't know this, but one of my buddies is, I think it's Haltech supplier. So, and there's a Holly Sniper right now on Marketplace for $500. It's new. So that's probably what I'm doing. I'm just going to throw a carbureted engine in here and get all that lined out. But I'm going to get this all cleaned up, stripped out, get all these little tabs off, all the little hoses. Get as much of this off of here and out of here as I can. Now, fender tubs come out, battery's going to be relocated to the back. I've already degreased all of this, so this should be ready for wire brush and paint, maybe at the end of the day today. When I get the new engine, I'm going to go ahead and set it here, get everything cleaned up on it, and go ahead and poke it in there. It's got a working 350 with it, so at this point I'm going to leave the $700 here. I'm going to go ahead and verify that it was working through my buddy and sell it as a core. It may work, it may not. Core right now would bring about $500. Got the welding cart finished yesterday. It's a little ghetto, but that's fine for me. It's going to do exactly what I need it to do. And that's about it. So today's agenda, I'm going to finish the back half, get the short bed kit done, get the brake line installed, get the e-brake hooked back up. I'm going to leave the taillights as they are, just because whenever I'm doing all of this, it needs to be out of the way. And also, when I rode this, there's a horrible grinding. It sounds like it's coming from this brake. I hope it's not coming from that damn carrier. Anyhow, that's today's agenda. So I'm going to get started.
So, of course, in true fashion and not knowing what I'm doing, I think I just recorded like 10 minutes of me pulling stuff off and the camera's not even recorded. So in this instance, I've already got the pan off. We're going to walk through this right quick. Let me make sure this camera's at least going. No. So, well, I guess in true fashion of Potter County patina, I don't know what I'm doing with audio, video, but well, in most things, for instance. So I've already pulled the pan off. Apparently I wasn't recording on either video, which, okay, it is what it is. So I pulled the pan off. This is indeed a 4-bolt main block. It is stamped. It is balanced. I'll show you how I can tell that in just a second. This story just keeps getting better, guys. This is a hell of a block. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Now, when I ran the VIN yesterday, or not the VIN, when I decoded the block, I realized that it was what it come back as? It's the 010 block. So that's either 2 or 4 bolt main. You really can't tell much by that. The prefix that's stamped in there is CTY, which you're like, okay, if you know what I'm talking about when I just said that, you're already way ahead of the game. I did more checking, and I was like, there is absolutely no way that that's what this is. So, I wanted to check firsthand, first thing this morning. Couldn't even sleep last night, and I'm back out here first thing in the morning. So I do got the pan off. It is indeed a 4-bolt main block. It is balanced, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But these counterweights that they drill into these cranks to get the cranks balanced has welds in it, and that's how they do that. They add weight back to it to balance the crank. Now, we do have everything stamped on the pad for our main caps, and we have dots for our caps. On top of our caps, we have the dots that correlate which way everything goes, and of course, if you know anything about this, you'll know that there's arrows that point towards the front of the engine. They're all set up and looking good. And also, I'll mention this, all this stuff in here looks brand new. The oil is super clean. None of the pistons are tarnished. The inside of the cylinder walls that I can see right here are flawless. I mean, it looks good. And what I'm going to try to do, I'm gonna get a mic out, and I'm going to rotate this over where I can get in here, and I can get the actual cylinder size and see if this is bored over. But there are a few things that I wanted to show. And this is a pretty common deal for it to be clocked as a stroker crank. You can tell that this block has been cut out right here, and there's counterweight on, or the counterweight that's on the deal. You can see where it's been cut out, machined, and then deburred on the sides of this. So I would assume that this has a stroker kit in it. Now, without putting a mic on there, I don't know. I don't know what the center bore is. But now, at this point, I'm going to have to pull this balancer off, get the timing cover off, and see if I've got a double roller in there and check the cam number on the front. But this may be a fully built engine. So at this point right now, we know it's a 4-bolt main block. It has 882 heads, which are the 20216 valve heads that are fantastic. Those are fire-breathing machines for a stock configuration that come from factory. Now, the numbers on the front, when I said CTY just a minute ago, that leads down to a couple of things. And you're talking early model stuff. Early model stuff being, and this is what I figured through all my research, this is either a 396 SS block with a matching set of heads, or it could be a Corvette. Early model, I think it was, I don't remember, 70 to like 73, something like that. But all the information I did, I have it wrote down in there. And the big thing was having the Y on the end of your suffix on the pad that's stamped in, and it does. It's a V10, which is the 10th day, or the 10th month of, I think it said 23, V1023, and then there was another number, and then CTY, and under that is 6 digits, which would be the serial number, or the VIN number, excuse me, off of the car. So if you had a numbers matching car, that's how you would find out if this block matches this. Now, I don't know that the heads match the block. It was supposed to have 882 heads for the 396 SS engines and Corvette engines. So with that being said, right now I can say that this is a 396 SS block or a Corvette engine. 4-bolt mains, got it. The fact that this has stamped caps on it, we know that one, the factory did that as well, but at some point in time this has been gone through. This crank is welded in the balance shaft part of it, or in the bore on the balance shaft. I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to get a little more information on it. Oh, this is so awesome. I can see where they have this stamped. You can see where they cut this stuff out and welded to it. This is such good news. Oh, this is so awesome. Yep, they've got this one welded up. God, inside of those, there's cross hatches in there still. You gotta be kidding me. This is great news. Oh. Golly. This thing, I wonder, there's like this red oxide stuff on the, oh. So I've heard this, I've never seen this. There's a coating that you can put on the inside of this, and it's supposed to make your oil slide down into the pan faster. It's supposed to create a lot less turbulence for oil flow. I bet that's what that coating is. It's all over the inside of everything. Oh, this is great news. And there's no purple, there's no blue, there's no pink. So we know that these bearings haven't been hot. They haven't been trashed out. Let me see if I can find stamps on the caps. If I can see anything. The rods look like stock rods. I don't see any like steel power cleavite. None of that stuff on here. And you can still see cross hatching in there. Now at the bottom where the piston bottoms out, of course you can. Oh, this is such good news. Oh, that cam looks brand new. I wonder what cam is in here. God, it's tall. Well, it looks tall. I could be way off. There's no wear marks on anything. Oh, this is such good news. Can y'all hear that? Cool. There's the numbers for the crank. 3932442. So 3932442. This has a stamp that says 72 on it, which would correlate a year. Trying to look at each of the main caps, or the rod caps. Yeah, you can see little dots in there where they took a ping hammer, matched the caps to the connecting rod. I can't tell just from looking if they've been ground down to balance it. Now the pads on here look like they may have been, but that's probably more the machining part of it. God, this looks so good. This is crazy. What a score. Yes. You can see where it's been welded up to balance it out. This is, yes. I've had, actually it was actually very similar to this. It was a L82 block and heads, 882 heads. If I remember right, it was a 73 Corvette And when my wife's Uncle Jim still had his machine shop, we built it, and I'd work out there on the weekends. And I worked in the vat room, and I'd take stuff down to help pay for my machine work. But that was always a really cool deal, getting to be able to do all that. I need to knock this fill tube out. This thing is, it's a little cattywampus. I need to knock that out and pull this oil pump off and make sure that it's all still good. This all still looks brand new. This is insane. The fact that this even happened. I picked this up for $500 and got the 350 transmission that looks like it's been rebuilt. Didn't have a torque converter, but I was like $500. I'm cool with that. And he had a bunch of extra stuff that he just threw in. He's like, I got the other engine mount and this is. And I was like, shit, you got to be kidding me. Yeah, I'm a buyer for that. And I asked him if he had decoded, and he said, no, I just sent you the number off the block. I don't know much about it. I figured you might want to check it out before you bought it. And I was like, yeah. And so when it came back, and I was like, well, it could be a 2 or a 4 volt main. It's a 010 block. So I knew there was an option to it where it couldn't be. Then when I ran the pad last night on the front, I was like, oh no, there's no way. Like, this isn't something you typically find. It's just sitting in some good old boy's garage that his brother had and wrecked the vehicle. So that's always a great find. I go to meet him. We had to drag a bunch of stuff out of the way. I spent the morning over there, helped getting everything out and ready for this engine. So that's fantastic news. Probably some of the best $500 I spent. I'd say the block alone is a $600 or $700 block, just being a 4 volt main. Balanced crank would be several $100. I can't tell if these are hyper-eutestic pistons or like sealed power or anything like that. And I'm not going to pull the heads off at this point. I know what I've got. I do want to check and see if we've got a double timing chain. The thickness of this cover kind of is letting me know that it's a single, but that's not an accurate way to do that. The best way to do it, and this balancer is losing some rubber, so it's got to come off anyway and get a new one. But guys, I'm stoked about this find. This is something that's super, super cool. I'm going to go ahead and, it feels like it's already been deburred and everything like that, which I wouldn't do it while it's assembled anyway. But I'm going to go ahead and clean up some of these ports with some brake fluid and run a tap through. Of course, I'll put the pan back on before I do any of that. But so that's the engine that we got for Whiskey Dent. So let's start there. I appreciate you guys hanging out, and what a hell of a find. When we get a little closer to the transmission, we'll get through that. So this is just going to be a segment in that video. And I'm going to get this put back together. I do got to go get some gaskets and some stuff like that. And I'll get this front pump cover off. I'm going to get this engine ready to drop in here today. So with that being said, if you found any value to this, go ahead and like it. And if you wish to follow and watch this build, subscribe. And I thank you. This is Potter County Patina. Until next time.